Welcome to Technado with Don Pizzette, featuring sysadmin expert Don Pizzette, security specialist Daniel Lowry, and Peter.
Hello and welcome to Technado with Don Pizzette. I'm your host, Peter Van Rysdam, and I don't know, I feel like this is like The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, but we don't have Johnny today. We've got Joan Rivers, who is, arguably better sometimes. I don't know.
Joan, that's
Sure.
okay.
But that's
thanks.
you. Yeah, that's you
I'll
in
be
this
Joan.
case.
That's all right.
Wes Bryan is filling in this
talk
week.
like this, like you smoke 5 packs of cigarettes a day.
There you go.
There
Yeah.
we go. Got you, man.
Well, welcome. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since we've had John,
yeah.
so that's good to get you. And we've got Daniel Lowry, as always. The one constant, the one that you can set your watch to.
The anchor
Yeah,
of the Technado.
in that you weigh it down.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
Both physically, emotionally, and probably in other ways as well.
Well, at least you got one person on the forum that you can count on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And then to go back to the analogy, I guess our Jay Leno, like the new one, because Jay was a
he has
fill-in.
enough chin.
But Jay was a fill-in for
He was
for Johnny
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I don't know, but after Joan. So anyway, we have Sophie Goodwin here filling in today as well. How you doing, Sophie?
I am doing all right. I'm here to, because you all obviously know what you're doing, and I'm here to balance that out. So that's the only reason I'm here.
Have you met PBR?
Your job
I thought
is
that was my
in
job to
trouble,
be the
brother.
one that didn't know crap.
Man, it was
Well,
good
I'm-
working with you, Peter.
I'm going to have to prove how well I don't know crap
Yeah.
today.
You better be super funny today.
Which should be evident just right from the get-go. Let's take a look at our first article, which comes to us from tomshardware.com. Microsoft Windows 11 encryption may damage data, Microsoft says. And I'm not an encryption expert, but wouldn't that still be encrypted then? I mean, if the hackers can't get in my data,
Man, as long as it's safe, right? That's all that matters.
Even if you can't get to
take
it.
my data, you smash it with a hammer and go,
Yeah.
hackers ain't getting this.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, that is a valid form of like destruction of data. Is that they will encrypt it and then throw away the keys.
Oh,
And,
really?
yeah, yeah. And then no one's getting that. That is gone.
No, that is fair. But this one is bad.
This one's bad.
So because this is data that you're supposed to be able to unencrypt down the road. So what's
the
what's
idea?
happening in this case? What's causing the damage?
Anybody?
Anybody?
That was so.
Can we just say Microsoft?
Enough said.
Windows.
All right, our next story. No.
So apparently, with a lot of the new processors, and they've had them for a while, have hardware acceleration, helps to speed up the process, especially when you're using stronger cipher suites and stuff like that. And apparently, their implementation of this is having an adverse effect that they weren't expecting. It seems like it's doing more damage than it is good.
Is this affecting anybody using Windows 11, or like do you have to have some higher level of encryption turned on or something, or home users or business and anybody?
Oh, I want to say, Sophia, as someone who read the article,
I
did they say,
I did.
did they say anything about
Several
that?
times. Y'all have no idea. I poured over this like I was taking an exam.
I know. It was
So-
funny to watch.
Look at her with her highlighters.
So it's I didn't understand half of the words.
Sure.
But that's why I'm here. Basically, it's I guess systems that have a certain kind of processor that supports.
So it's processor
says-
specific.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a way to fix it, but it fixes it, and then it makes your machine slower, I guess. And so then
Yes.
there's a fix for the fix, and
It's
yeah.
good, isn't it? Don't
It
you
is.
just love doing this game? Isn't it fun? Hey, let's have
job
computers,
security.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's affecting both Intel and it's affecting AMD. So you have the Ice Lake, Tiger Lake, and Rocket Lake, all the lakes there for that architecture, and then some of the Zen 4 processors. And you talk about it slowing down. It's because it sounds like it's essentially just disabling hardware acceleration in these processors, which is why you're going to start to. It says notice performance degradation up to a month after.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
No, my favorite part of the article was when it said that Microsoft doesn't mention what to do if you've already been hit by this
Yes.
data damage issue, but you'll be glad to know that you can apply a fix and it won't do it anymore.
I like how it has in quotes to prevent further damage.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about the damage that's already
I
happened.
mean, that is slap gone, whatever that was.
Again,
so.
you asked us to encrypt the data.
Yeah,
the data's
we did the
encrypted.
thing. You didn't say you needed it back. By the way, turn on BitLocker.
That's right. So it's affecting things like transport layer security, load balancers they mention, which load balancers, they're supposed to be there to help us with performance, right?
Nah, that's stupid.
That's right. So we're going to take something that's a technology that's specifically there to help the performance levels of any service being offered, and we're going to just make it come to a crawling halt.
Man, last time I got a deal like that was these tires I bought off this guy named Earl.
Maypops?
Yeah, Maypops. They're great.
Maypops, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't run them too fast because they may pop.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so yeah, basically, if you are running Windows 11, take a look at this article, and it's got some information to help you figure out basically if you are affected, and as Daniel said, the things you can do to make sure you aren't affected more.
It's Server 2022 as well, so it's not just Windows 11.
Not just Windows 11.
It's server operating systems, but since only 5 people on the planet run Windows Server 22, he shouldn't have to worry.
But those tend to be like important computers sometimes.
Yes.
Good backups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? We kind of harp on this from time to time, and
But
that's
good backups,
because
aren't you just backing up the still
Damaged
damaged
data.
stuff?
Yeah.
not necessarily.
No.
Like you might have an old.
You might be able to
depends
roll
on when
back.
you got hit. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good point. Yeah. So find the one that isn't broke.
Yeah.
And then restore from that one.
Use that.
Got it. That's just good practice. All right, well, let's take a look at our next one here. It's from arstechnica.com and kind of takes you back in the Wayback Machine here. Google Fiber was stalled for years, but now says it'll expand to 5 new states. The ISP's history suggests you can expect only limited availability in each area. And it's funny because I remember the early days of Google Fiber and people like fighting for it in different cities, and it was like, oh my gosh, this will change our lives if we get this. And now that was gigabit speed they were advertising, right? So that's really what most of us kind of have at this point. But
And then it just went underground. It's like it stopped, and you didn't really hear about it, But you got a lot of other companies.
well, you got to bury the cable underground.
Oh, that's true. This is true. Very good
You
point.
meant underground.
That's right.
Okay.
But now you've got other companies like Verizon's got their Fios. Maybe it's too little, too late.
Yeah, it makes me wonder why are they making this push now? Because they promised that they would someday, but I mean, it's not like, okay, well, what makes your service better then? Because it's got the Google name on it.
So honestly, the big takeaway I took from this article was the fact that competition is good for the customer.
That's true.
Right? Because they talked about how as soon as Google even started talking about doing this, the standard fare of ISPs started going, oh no, we're going to lose customers. So let's start trying to be competitive with them, even though they're not even in the market yet.
That's true.
And then they stalled out for a while, but the damaged milk had already been spilled at that point, right? The lid was open on the box, and all that goodness was coming out, and people started getting fiber to their homes. So now that they're coming back into the game, starting to push again, we should start to see more competition, breeding good prices and availability for customers in the wild, because that's what we like. Now, honestly, though, how many of you guys are using gigabit like fiber?
Not me.
Not me.
I mean, I have the service. Am I getting that at home?
I mean, well, you have it though, right?
Yeah,
You went with that, so you're not getting the service you've been promised.
God, no.
So that's fun, right?
Yeah.
But like, I don't use a lot of internet, like bunch of download upload speeds for me. So I don't really see the benefit for myself. And then if you live in rural areas, that's even more difficult to get it because they're not running out in rural areas, unless segue. Anyway, moving on.
Was there a Starlink article next?
No, next. Oh, dude, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Well,
Starlink.
wasn't that at BlackHat one of the things that they talked about? Is that people kind of looking at hacking some of that?
Hacking the Starlink terminal. Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite's still that guy that put the Starlink antenna on the front of his car. That's how you get the internet, folks.
Isn't that a Weird Al song? I believe it is.
Well, the new states that are looking to get the Google Fiber are Arizona, Colorado, Nebraska, Nevada, and Idaho. So it doesn't help us here
Not
in
at all,
Florida
no.
in any way. But
We already have fiber, obviously, though.
we have fiber. But you're right that more providers means
right, lower
bringing
prices.
those prices down. And yeah, nobody wants the situation where you just basically have the cable company.
Monopoly.
Monopoly.
Yeah.
It's never good.
It's a good game.
Never got the free parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lie. All right. Well, let's take a look at the next one. Is this what we were segueing to, Dan? No. Okay.
No,
We'll-
no,
we'll
it's.
s-
You didn't read the articles either, did you?
no, I know, but I'm like, this is not.
You skipped
how's
ahead
this
a little
segue?
bit. You were
Yeah,
way ahead.
Daniel's like pre-segue.
Oh man,
to the
I've got a
future.
segue to my
He's got
segue.
callbacks. that
I'm
we'll be
on a
making
segue, making a segue to a segue
About to fall in the pool.
of segway.
with a big Starlink antenna on.
Yeah.
Segue.
I wish I knew what you guys were talking about.
All right. This next one is from bleepingcomputer.com. Microsoft 365 outage triggered by Meraki firewall false positive. So, correct me, Meraki is Cisco? Okay. So, they basically saw something come through and said, oh, that's a hack. We got to stop that. But it just turned out to be Microsoft 365
Yes.
doing Microsoft 365
Man,
things.
I'll tell you what, that article title really worked out because that's all you needed to know about this. That's exactly right.
Well, I read the article. I'm looking to
the
you
good
for
news is
opinion.
you didn't have to.
I
the
didn't.
title
That's it.
told you everything you needed to know.
Yeah, save me a click. I don't need to give you any of this ad revenue by looking at your dumb ads, bleeping computer.
That's right.
Because
Go out of business.
You put it all in the headline like idiots.
Yeah.
That's right.
It should have said one company triggers a false positive on another company, and then I would have had to. Oh, well, now I got
Click
see
to
what this
learn
is.
more.
Yeah, drivers in Florida hate this trick. What trick?
Number 3 will shock you.
Yeah, I am shocked. All right, so what was it that Meraki thought they caught?
A snort rule.
I hate
that.
those.
Well, no. What was the attack that they thought they were getting? It was a denial of service attack against IIS. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Turned out it's just emails.
Yeah. Man, ain't nobody wants this garbage.
It's Bed Bath and Beyond coupons.
No, that's good stuff. Don't turn those down.
Yeah, but that's basically
Man,
a
you can
DDoS
stack
every day.
those suckers up. And
That's true. Yeah, you owe me money
that's
for
right.
this
Listen
Roomba.
here, Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm going to need my money.
I like how they say that it affects multiple Microsoft 365 services: Exchange, Teams, Outlook, OneDrive. So basically, all of them.
Office 365 is affected.
So it didn't affect PowerPoint.
Oh, thank God.
God, yeah, man. It's all light a candle and say a prayer.
Man, yeah,
Fall prostrate.
that's right. Pour a little out.
Yeah.
I'm surprised something like this doesn't happen more. With, you've got all these things out here looking for, and you want to err on the side of caution to stop these hacks from happening. I'm surprised that they don't.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
more false positives.
rule writers are doing a really good job. That just goes to show
Or
that.
they're letting too much through.
I mean, it could be.
Which
honestly,
one's
so
worse? Yeah.
probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So you got to let traffic through, right? Otherwise, you're out of business. You're not getting the things
Otherwise
that
you're
you
China.
need. Yeah. They let things through only after they've inspected it and approved it for their
Taking a copy.
Yeah. So anyway, they're obviously. I mean, you have control over what snort rules you use and don't use. You can write your own because Meraki is basically just leaning heavily on snort to do the job. So they tell you which one it was that was causing the problem, right? So that you can disable that rule, and they tell you even how to. In this article, that is for the people listening at home, you can look in the article. They'll show you exactly where to go.
Well, since they tacked on the end that Meraki disabled the rule, so like they took care of it.
Pushed
Sounds
it out.
like.
Yeah, they said within like 1 and 2 hours it should just thing, but it does. That rule was there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Right,
There
that's what I'm
was so
thinking.
if that's now disabled,
And that's what the
you
representative
start
at
to
Cisco said.
weigh the thing there.
Said Snort is correctly protecting your networks from a known vulnerability and therefore operating as intended.
Yeah,
At least that's from Cisco.
right. It wasn't a problem with it. It's just like a circumstance.
So were they able to just like whitelist the 365
Right, no,
thing
it's
to let
just
that in, or
disabled
just
by
It's a
default.
disabled
Yeah.
thing.
So
It's
that's-
like saying, how do we fix the firewall? Turn it
Right.
off.
If you don't have it doing auto updates, you'd have to go in and change that setting yourself.
Gotcha.
And then maybe you'd have to get more granular with the rule. You could rewrite the rule. So we're saying if I get traffic coming from these IPs or this area of the internet, then allow it. If not, then disable it. And that's going to be a little difficult to fine tune. So most people are probably just going to go with the disable, and hopefully a new rule comes out soon that precludes the 0365 traffic and allows standard traffic to get through. Maybe they do something to change how that traffic looks on Microsoft's end, or who knows how this is going to end up looking.
Yeah. Microsoft will encrypt it.
Yeah.
and then nobody gets it.
Yeah, you know that email you sent? It is gone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's here, but you can't read it.
Super encrypted.
Yeah.
And Dan, those snort rules, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking very, very complex things, right? We're not just talking about a couple of lines of text, right?
I mean, ultimately, yeah, the rules themselves can either be super complex or just a couple of lines of text. Most of them that I've seen as far as the community rules go, which is typically what I'm looking at when I'm teaching, because if you're creating your own rules, you have an infrastructure to support, and so it's going to get very specific
Customized
to
it,
that to create those customized rules. But those community rules, the ones that kind of get out to everybody, and the ones that are standard use, they range from simple to complex. It just depends on what they're trying to stop.
All right, I'm having trouble here because snort is all caps, so I'm like, it's an acronym.
No.
Well, the first one I got was Supersonic Naval Ordnance Research Track. I don't think it's
probably not the
those
one.
kinds of rules.
Yeah.
Any idea? What's
I've never heard that snort was an acronym.
no, it wasn't. Wasn't it all caps in the article?
It might
It
have
was.
been, but
Maybe they just did that for fun.
I don't
Just
know.
to screw with me.
They're just
Snort. I mean, it might be, but I've never. If it is, I've never heard of it. Wes is the resident acronym genius. So
CNIMP Operational Review Team.
gonna go with no.
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 Simultaneous nasal and oral respimetric technique.
That is absolutely it.
Out my nose and my mouth at the same time.
I think that so Wes, you're looking at their website.
I
They are
am.
not all capital on the website.
No,
No,
okay.
no,
So
they're
it's just
not.
this
Yeah.
It's just a name.
stupid.
Just
website.
a name.
Well, we were talking about 80s and 90s cartoons before the show. And I was like, when I heard snort too, I was thinking of something, but that's the snorks, right? Wasn't that
Oh,
the thing?
snorks.
Snorks,
Yes.
yes.
Snorks. Do you remember
The
snorks?
underwater
Sophie?
sea creatures.
That's right.
They had these
She's like,
these
yeah.
snout things.
I don't think I was alive on this earth for that. So
Just think
would guarantee
pre-bubble
it.
guppies.
But I've heard of
Okay.
things that
It's like
happened
the
before
Smurf
I was
bubble
born.
guppies.
interesting. So it's
Yeah.
not the Smurfs.
It's not
a
the
different
Smurfs.
thing.
Yeah.
Snorks.
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 Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, I have something to Google now.
It was
when I
like
go.
your mom going, "No, we've got Smurfs at home,"
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
and it was.
And they
it
were
was
like, "Well, we
snorks.
need something else to buy, so we'll just have underwater Smurfs."
But they were underwater. Yeah.
Yeah. They were underwater Smurfs. That's basically what they
Were
were.
they called snorks? Was that like the noise they made? Or
No, that's just
for
what
fun?
they were called.
Did they use the word snork like Smurfs used
I
the word
I don't
Smurf?
remember, honestly. It's been
Because that
a
would
hot
just be too
minute
much
since
of a
I've seen it.
ripoff.
Pretty sure snorks just came from that thing being a
snorkel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A snorkel.
Oh, and Peter
see
gets
that
to
light
keep
bulb
his
moment?
job.
I always wonder how they didn't die under there.
Yeah.
All right.
It's magic.
It would have been funny if they were just all like,
Yeah. Yeah. You know your little snorkel.
next
not
time on
above,
Snorks.
still drowning.
So would you say the Smurfs are just snorks holding their breath?
No, because they breathe air. They're out like.
Well, no one.
Oh,
knows-
you mean
they've got
snorks,
hats
yeah.
on. No one knows if there's a hole
That's
at
true.
the end of
That's
that
right.
little
They absolutely could have that.
little head thing.
Just Smurfs holding their breath. I mean, obviously they're not because they're dying in droves if they ain't got the snorkel.
I always thought, I could see Papa Smurf had some gills. He had,
Yeah.
It's like a water world.
I'm getting a
He also had
horrible,
face
horrible
tats
visual.
before.
This is-
Ruining everyone's childhood.
That's
right?
right.
All right. Well, let's take a look at our next one here. And I think this is what Daniel was alluding to.
This is the long say. It was more like a bridge to the
Yeah.
next.
Yeah, go back and listen to the other Google Fiber discussion, and then this will tie right in. Just skip that whole.
I didn't put the
snort.
order in these things, all right?
All right, this is from slashdot.org. Man who built ISP instead of paying Comcast $50,000 expands to hundreds of homes. And so basically, we've got a guy who was told, you owe this money. I was like, you know what? No, I can just do this myself. And I mean, this is the American dream.
Yeah, it really
basically.
is.
Just
The true hacker.
yeah,
I can make this work myself.
Yeah, I can do it better. Probably spend just as much money over time, but now he has customers himself, so he has flipped the script, as it were. So, what was it that this guy owed this kind of money for? That's a lot.
I didn't read it.
Well, if you, yeah.
Gonna segue to it. You didn't even read it.
Well, you
Sophie.
know, well, we're thinking of it from a residential standpoint.
Yeah,
of
that's
like,
true.
hey, I'm paying $100 a month for cable internet or
Oh,
whatever.
I was so glad you went with cable internet.
I wasn't going to say fiber. Yeah. Right. So $50,000. He's probably got some kind of dedicated business type line, and those can be very expensive. You can $3,000 to $10,000 a month. I don't know why it would be $50,000, but
Yeah, so he basically found out he can go out and get, a tunnel from one of the other providers direct to him, and then say, well, if I split this off, because I don't need all this, and it says at this point he's got what,
like
hundreds of
70
homes,
customers
yeah, 30 rural homes originally that he was providing. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if you can, he's basically going to Sam's. He's buying in bulk
Yeah.
and sharing with the neighbors.
And it's government subsidized.
yeah, one of the things I think that's great about that is like building on one Dan saying, government subsidized, that they were. Doing these RFPs, request for proposal.
Yeah.
And he said, what did he say? He goes, in my own wild stupidity or genius, I'm not sure, brilliance, I'm not sure which. He goes, I bid on the whole project and he won.
Yeah, because it's like, well, I don't know the overhead of you people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much does that fiber optic cable cost?
Yeah. What's that running?
Let me get
Ballpark.
let me get some of that. Let me check on Amazon.
Yeah. Oh man, Jeff Bezos delivered that to me real easy.
Yeah, in a rocket ship.
Today.
Yeah, it looks like the prices. He's got 100 megabits symmetrical, which means ups and downloads are the same for $55 a month, unlimited data. Got a gigabit plan. It doesn't say whether it's asymmetrical or symmetrical, but that's $79 a month.
Yeah, and he was able to extend in May 2020 to 417 addresses. This is up in the Michigan area, outside of Ann Arbor, and so if you were in that area and you want competition, don't wait for Google.
Yeah, heck.
Call Frank down the street.
I didn't see that in the states they were saying they were going to go to.
Yeah, unlimited plan, $55 a month, and gig service with unlimited data for $79 a month.
Yeah, seems reasonable, honestly.
It's not bad.
Comcast said, if you don't like our service, do it yourself. And he said, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw you.
he
No
said-
one
If
likes
I
your
have the
service,
brains,
Comcast.
I mean-
Challenge accepted.
Has anyone ever said Comcast? No, I love your service.
Yeah.
It's the customer service for me, guys.
Yeah.
And
That's the whole reason I go here.
And it's interesting because where it's so new, and we, Dan, you and I were talking about this earlier today about,
Why are you lying to these people?
Yeah, having your piece of the pie, right? Well, if you're
Yeah.
like me, you have lots of pie, and if shared bandwidth, and if you don't have a lot of people on it at one time, that piece of pie gets a little bit bigger for you, and you get better connection. So if you've got somebody like this that doesn't have a lot of customers attached to that network, you're probably getting some good sustained speed.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be sailing with
Yeah.
all that, right? That's the way to fly right there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it gets ruined because we know it will.
Oh, well,
at some
absolutely.
point.
Yeah, well, that's what some
We'll
of the
be
things.
doing a milkshake duck
Yes, we
thing
have not done a milkshake
right?
duck segment in
A hot
a
minute.
long time.
Oh, what?
A whole
what?
wheat thing?
What?
Yeah.
A milkshake duck. So that's one of the original Technado segments is milkshake duck. It's a term to refer to something that is awesome that then gets ruined. So, for example, the analogy in that one is, oh, look at that duck drinking a milkshake. Isn't that adorable? Oh, the duck is a Nazi?
Yeah.
So...
Right.
For example,
So-
there were some pictures recently, a couple years ago in Gainesville of these gorgeous police officers that were like, oh my God, those guys' eyes are just breathtaking. And they were like, look at these hot cops. And then like a week later, they're like, oh, here's all their racist messages that they posted on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like anything that's
That's a
good
milkshake
gets
duck.
ruined.
So there's a backstory to that analogy.
Right.
Yes.
Because you say milkshake duck, and I would have had no.
Well,
idea.
yeah,
I wouldn't either. I've
That's
been
just
with
an analogy that someone made up of.
Yeah.
Oh, so
hey,
this
the
isn't even a
example of
Technado original. This is
Oh
something
yeah,
you all.
yeah. Milkshake
Wow,
duck is
this is like a
term.
worldwide thing, and I just don't know.
It's
Okay.
a worldwide thing, and that someone else in the world came up with it. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's like everyone knows what milkshake duck
Yeah.
is.
It's my first day, so.
But we have a milkshake duck intro with a duck quacking to the song "My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard."
Yeah.
as you would expect from
My lactose-based beverage
So hopefully,
gathers all the young males too.
hopefully we find out this guy did this whole
What was
thing.
it, the vicinity or something like this?
This guy did this whole thing to launder money
Disestablishment?
or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, they got everything here.
do illicit things on his network of fiber. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
that comes true.
Next
Just so
thing
we
you
can do
know,
the
he's
segment.
like, I'm hosting for Nazis. It's like,
Yeah.
why'd you gotta go and ruin it, Frank?
Man. Well, they pay good money.
And their money spends just as. I don't give a crap, man.
These Reichsmarks are give me a lot of them.
Right.
I don't know if that still work.
Yeah.
I think they call that Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. We've got a couple of more really interesting stories to get to right after this on Technado with Don Pizzette.
My name is Dana Morrison. I'm the IT director at Grace Christian School in Raleigh, North Carolina. I work with 2 technicians, Buddha and Anthony. We cover all grades at the school. We figure that we support approximately 800 end-user devices.
My name is Buddha Nepal. I work as IT support here and AV specialist. I moved into IT department and on our first meeting, other team members asked me, hey, what's your IT background? And I was like, I don't have any. We had this SharePoint project that we were rolling out. So I was able to go to IT Pro TV and watch. And by the end of this month, we were actually migrating all our files to SharePoint.
I can use IT Pro TV's supervisor portal to check the progress of my technicians so I can see what they're looking at. So when we were doing SharePoint training, I can go in and I can see that Buddha is hitting on that content.
I really want to see hands-on how they do things, and if there was an IT Pro TV, I don't know how I would have done that.
IT Pro TV has given us the ability to level up our technicians to a point where they can decide this is important for me to learn and go out and learn it.
At home, I have Apple TV, and there is an app there, and so I actually watch on Apple TV. I watch it in my iPad too.
Saturday mornings, I still get up early. 6:30, I go grab a cup of coffee. I sit down on the couch, and I typically watch 2 or 3 episodes as I just kind of increase my own learning skill set. I would recommend IT Pro TV to any IT team that is looking to extend their knowledge. It offers a great, easy to access, interactive, entertaining environment. It's just a great tool for any IT professional.
IT pros who want to learn on the go? The IT Pro TV Android app is for you. Now it's better than ever with the dashboard view built in. Easily resume viewing, see new courses as they're added, and track your hours viewed. Start up your next episode with the touch of a button to binge watch on the go. Track your progress at a glance, and download episodes as an annual member for offline viewing. Access all IT Pro TV courses with a simple button. Choose landscape mode for larger viewing. Choose your course by category, certification, or job role. Watch anywhere and pick up later on your favorite devices. So head to the App Store and download the IT Pro TV app.
All right, welcome back to Technado with Don Pizzette. And we were just saying Don probably going to want his name off of this this show pretty soon.
I blame Sophie.
Yeah.
My fault.
Ever since Sophie's got here,
Yeah.
it's gone downhill.
Yeah.
Last hired, first fired. You know what I'm saying?
That's a new way
That's
to do
FIFO,
FIFO.
right? Yeah.
I was
yeah.
thinking the same thing.
First in for
Yeah.
I guess it's LIFO, right?
That's
Last
your
in,
see you're
first
about
out.
to be fired to be like, let's bring Sophie in
Yeah.
to the show.
That's how you know things are getting ready to go sideways for somebody's career.
Yeah.
Peter's calling Sophie.
Like, why is Sophie here again? I mean, I don't feel good. I'm going to go.
Familiar with the term scapegoat?
There are 3 bank boxes off camera.
Yeah.
I came in and PVR was like, no offense, but why are you here? It's like, don't worry, I won't be here for much
It wasn't
longer.
that big.
And she went existential
She's
first.
the other
It's like,
smart one.
why is anybody here?
Why are we all here?
That's right.
Hey, did you bring your own chair?
Yeah.
Another one of these
This is
chairs.
just her astral projection.
Oh man, I can only think of what is it? The celebrity SNL with the podium.
Yeah.
I would have got here earlier, but my podium arrived late. Weren't invited.
Yeah. That's how it works.
All right, well, let's take a look at these other couple of stories. These are both WTFs, and I don't have a WTF intro anymore because that other one was just, it was too loud.
Which one was that?
It was the one that was like just a guy going, what the? And,
Oh, yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a bomb going off, and it,
It was just too loud. Did we
We
get
just-
complaints?
from me. I made it, so. Yeah, I need to make a new one of that. But just imagine that there's some obnoxious noises right now that isn't me, and that is our WTF segment. So this one is from ladbible.com, where we always go for our tech news. The World Excel Championship is being broadcast on ESPN, and it's absolutely wild. And it's funny because I saw the image that they've got in the top here is the guy from Dodgeball when they're on ESPN, the Ocho.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I know they bring back the Ocho now every summer and do like a day of
Do they really?
funny sports or something. And so I was like, oh, this has to be part of that. And it doesn't seem like it is. It's actually just something that they put on ESPN too. So it's I
The
guess-
Ratings must be really bad.
yeah, I guess this falls under the Deuce. Yeah.
Yeah.
This falls under like the esports umbrella
Yeah.
to say, let's watch these people spreadsheet. I don't know
Do
what
pivot
even the
table?
How about no?
it sounds
I
horrible.
watched some of it, man, and it's.
I watch these little clips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same here, and I'm like, oh, that's a nerd fest.
I saw Excel and was like, I'm out.
Well,
It knocked me down a peg because I really thought that I knew what I was doing when it came to Excel. And
Yeah, you see some of these formulas they're putting
yeah,
in there.
they listed a formula in the article, VLOOKUP. I don't even know what that means, and I was like, oh wow, I should just I just quit. Like,
how you find the letter V?
Man,
I
Yeah.
assume.
I don't even know how to start Excel.
Yeah, I mean, and this is not Excel in the browser. This is
Excel.
full
Excel.
on.
So here's the thing I
desktop.
learned, right? I've been in IT for around like 20 some odd years now. And if you don't learn how to use Excel, then they can't have you use Excel.
You know what I do? I like to open up Excel and then open up a calculator next to it.
Yeah,
That's how I use
I
it.
just don't open
to check
Excel.
your work.
Yeah,
I use
yeah.
all text files and comma separated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this must have been on in the middle of the night. But
If you would have told me that when you're watching this, I would have said, am I being punked?
He's like,
well, imagine if you're just at a sports bar or something and they just have ESPN on and it just
did you see that
comes on and
pivot
be like,
table?
"Hold up."
Oh my goodness.
At first, everyone's mad. Why isn't baseball on? And then by the end, they're like, "Did you see that?"
Yeah. They're just not playing with heart today. That's
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But you know,
Phoning it in.
it is impressive. At sometimes when if you do watch like just a minute of it to go, oh, I didn't know you could do that or that. Wow, that guy's really.
You could
fast.
say that just about anything in Excel with
Sure.
me.
But what is another thing that
What are these columns you call them?
Yeah. What is another thing that is just a boring part of life that you would like to see as a sport on TV? Is there anything that just doing the dishes or
Yeah.
just what task at home are you like? Hey, I
we
can
should
compete on that.
Ask the Japanese. They kind of take like
They do
things to art
anything.
form level.
Yeah.
Like randomly. You're
Pillow
like,
fighting.
Well, like tea making, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ever watch Japanese people do like a tea ceremony?
No.
Oh, you should check that out because it's like they literally have forms, and it is an art form for them to do this tea ceremony. So ask the Japanese; they might be able to help us out with like picking out like painting, or when I say painting, what I mean is writing letters.
Competitive painting. Oh.
They have like
Calligraphy type?
to try to make the letter perfect in one stroke.
Okay.
Right, and who does it? I don't know if they've made it competitive or not, but
I'm sure.
they tend to compete with themselves.
Yeah. They
Right?
have the best game shows.
So there was this one show in Japan that I remember that you could sign. I guess you signed up for it, and they would come to your house in the middle of the night and sneak in, and then they would fire off automatic weapons over your bed.
I seen one
with
where they
like
put a
fake
cannon.
rounds.
Yes.
That would make it one day in America.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yes.
Oh, and they've killed the production crew.
There was one where they literally pulled it in a
Yeah,
cannon
yeah.
and fired the cannon. Obviously didn't have a projectile.
How
in
do
it,
you
but
win this?
There's no winning. It's just a show.
You don't end
The
up
fun.
in the ER on a defibrillator?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You jump out of your bed and
You can still
trip
hear?
over the sheets and catch your teeth on the edge of the nightstand.
Any
I
of
guess.
this still sounds better than the Excel championships.
They who have the least tinnitus win,
Yeah.
right? Huh? What?
I'm sorry.
Tetanitis. What is it?
Come again?
Tetanus.
No, that's a whole
That's
different
tetanus.
That's
it.
something you should never look at.
Yeah, tetanus.
thing. Tetanus.
Isn't that how you spell it though?
I believe it is. I remember when last time I stepped on a nail when I
He's
was
like, I got that tetanus real
I was-
bad.
I was doing
You got a
something.
shot for it too.
Yeah. I was like, do I need to go get a tetanus shot? And then I looked up on Wikipedia, and it was the image of a dude with tetanus. It was like a 1500s painting of a guy, like, and I was like,
Frothing at the mouth.
I was like, oh, I gotta get that shot.
Yeah.
I gotta get a couple of these shots.
Yeah.
That's advertisement for you.
I'm gonna take 3 just in case.
Yeah, let's get some of this tetanus in
Heck,
there.
I might even take one for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're supposed to get one like every 10 years, aren't you?
Yeah, your booster.
Like a booster or whatever, yeah.
And I was like, I might be in that window. And I'm like,
When's the next time I'm gonna step on a rusty nail? Come on.
You better stop. Murphy's knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Bring it, Murph.
all right. Sticking with our WTF category, let's move on because I think we don't care about Excel World Championships. But this one is fun. From the Register.com. Janet Jackson music video declared a cybersecurity exploit. What? Another reason not to play 1989's Rhythm Nation, which is kind of just rude. It may mess with some hard disks. So how is it that this happens? We're talking specifically about a certain type of spinning disk here, but what scientifically is actually going on?
Good question, Sophie.
So it has to do with the resonant frequencies, and I'm dead serious. That's the wording. So apparently, it's only certain computers. It affects tens of people. It's only certain computers that have hard disk drives that.
And still a copy of Rhythm Nation.
50,
Yeah, that's right.
And it's only disk drives that run at 5400?
5400 RPM, yeah, so laptops.
So it's something, there's some frequency, I guess it's one of the natural resonant frequencies for the song, and it will cause laptops to crash. And if my laptop doesn't have the problem and I play it, and your laptop has the problem, your laptop will crash, which is great.
Yeah.
So it's a weapon as well.
Yeah, it's a weaponized Janet Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. Denial of service attack, essentially.
Yeah, I've seen the video. They look like an army, right?
And
Like,
air-gapped denial of service attack, too.
Okay, so while this is funny and something I'm sure someone just stumbled across by,
Yes.
it happening to them or seeing something happening and actually taking the time to figure it out, which is kind of cool.
yeah.
But does this open the door, or have there been other types of attacks where someone could say, hey, I don't need to get Janet Jackson's song. I can make, I can go into a music program and make a song that's X hertz.
So I read in the comments of this article that somebody had figured out the resonant frequency of their neighbor's windows, and they were blasting Edgar Winter's Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah, it was funny.
And
yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing. Was it the Tacoma Bridge? I can't remember the
yeah,
bridge.
yeah.
Right?
Where
So they say it was wind, but it was the resonant frequency of the wind blowing in a certain direction that brought the bridge down.
I heard
it's
that,
the same thing.
I heard that they teach or they are teaching, or they have taught military troops to march in a certain way so that they don't.
Like
hit
you're
the
supposed to get out
frequency
of
the
step on the bridge.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So apparently it was known enough that in the audio codexes, they had written a filter that if you hear that, if it detected that frequency, it would...
Does noise canceling.
Yeah, exactly. It would just drop it out.
See, I feel like if this technology was where I'm saying it, I think it is, that we'd have already been attacked by the brown noise, by like the Koreans or something.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to go there.
Yeah, it's like right in the middle of something important and
then everybody's
running for the hills.
Yeah, and you can follow the trail, right? Because the brown note's supposed to.
Yeah.
Like.
No, I think people figured it out. But if you want
What
to
is the resonant thing of your bowels? Where's the frequency of your bowels?
Which Janet Jackson does that to me.
She does. Correct me if I'm wrong. She is the originator of the New Jack Swing genre of music.
Is that true?
I think it is.
Oh,
Look up on that one.
New Jack Swing. New Jack Swing, fusion of rhythms and production techniques, hip hop and dance.
Just do a Control F for Janet Jackson.
Spearheaded by producers Teddy Riley and Bernard Bell. It's most popular in the mid 1980s, which that checks out. Let's just do a quick little Control F on the page. Janet Jackson's digital R&B album Control was definitely in there. That's early.
Early.
It's in the second sentence of the history
gotcha.
section on the Wikipedia page.
Well, there you go.
So we'll go ahead and give her credit.
She's got 2 credits today. One CVE and New Jack Swing.
Yeah, congratulations to
It's a red
Janet
letter
for
day
that.
for old Janet.
And let us know if you found any other songs that have thrown your devices into disarray.
Especially if it's Edgar Winter.
Or Technado, if there's a certain episode. Yeah. I'm just going to give you some tones that you can.
Do you know who Edgar Winter is, by the way?
Sure. I feel like if I say no, I'm gonna get bullied.
You've
so
never
sure.
seen an albino blues man before?
I saw him in concert. He was part of
Did you really?
Ringo Starr's All-Star Band.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I saw when he came through. And because they all they play together, but then they all do their one or two things. You had
everybody's a star in that band except for Ringo.
hey, he's
original
back there
Beatle,
clapping.
man.
I know.
Yeah, it's just cool to see a Beatle, but then when you're like, all right, Ringo, you don't have to sing. Yeah, no one's here for this part.
Yeah.
But thanks. All right. Well, I want to let you know about a couple of things coming up on the webinar front. First of all, we've got one taking place on Thursday, September 1st. What have you been missing in Azure? Hidden gems you should be mining, and that's with Adam Gordon and Wes Bryan, this guy right here. Are you hosting that or meeting that?
Heck if I know. We'll find out when I get
Is this
No,
like
I'm hosting.
cryptocurrency mining? Is that what we're talking
I don't
about?
think they mean that kind of mining, but maybe.
Never mind.
Well, if you wait till the end and find out. No, maybe he'll help you get your encrypted data back
that's
from
cool.
Windows 11.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Probably not, though.
Hidden gems like, this data that you broke and hid here. But that, like I said, is Thursday, September 1st. Head over to itpro.tv/webinars. You can register for that one, as well as the next All Things Cybersecurity with Daniel. And it's going to be John Strand joining you from Black Hills Information Security.
Nice.
That's Thursday, September 15th. The next one in that
Here's
series.
Johnny.
There is Johnny, and John is, if you're not familiar with Black Hills Information Security, what are you even doing?
Yeah.
So take a look.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah.
Stay a while.
Yeah.
But that's a great one if you're looking for some info on. I mean, what kind of company are they? More of like penetration
So
testing.
they do security assessments, penetration tests, vulnerability assessments, red team engagements, you name it, they do it. When it comes to security, obviously, it's not like penetration testing is much more than just the test. It's also the mitigations. So bunch of super smart people over at Black Hills InfoSec. So if you want to get and John being definitely one of them.
Yeah.
If you want to get some good questions answered about the business, about hacking, about security in general, anything you want, bring it on down. Ask that question. That's all we do is take questions from the chat room and kind of discuss that. And I'm really looking forward to having John on because he is such a wealth of knowledge.
He's going to have some stories.
Oh, yeah. He's got stories and just his experiences that kind of put some context around a lot of the stuff we talk about when it comes to learning security. So it would be great to have that context and just have him there to be able to kind of fill in those gaps for us. Super cool. Can't wait.
And he's one of the guys that puts on Wild West Hacking Fest.
Yes, which I will be at.
Ooh.
So if you haven't booked your ticket and your flight and all that, get it done.
The one hotel in South Dakota still has room.
Yeah. I mean, you'll be
Got like
driving
5
in.
rooms left.
Yeah. Get your
There's
stage
a bunch of
coach.
casinos there, by the way. So if you want to do a little gambling.
You had me at a bunch of casinos. All right, and want to let you know, too, while you're on that internet there, head over to technado.com. You can check out all the latest episodes. You can check out some swag, send in some listener mail. Let us know what resonant
Mama
frequencies you enjoy. Yeah, jokes about Don's mom, always enjoyed, especially when he's not here.
They are the
Great
best.
time for that. And you can click that big orange button in the corner that says sponsored by IT Pro TV, and you can get a coupon code for 30% off of your IT Pro TV personal membership. You can also request a team trial. So if you're part of a team of 2 or more, find out some of the great features available to you guys to help track your learning and do all that good stuff with the Pro Portal and some other very cool features. So yeah, it's all over at technado.com. Be sure to check that out. All right, want to thank Sophie for joining us. Your first time. Do you think after that experience you would do this again?
No, I'm out of here.
That
No,
makes
this is that was enough for me. No, it was fun. I had a good time. I appreciate y'all.
I thought you were sane for a minute.
I'm just glad she read the article so one of us knew what the heck was going
I
on.
genuinely, because I've seen episodes, but I've never been part of one, obviously. So I was like, I gotta study. These guys know their stuff. I gotta study. So the whole morning I was just
you
pouring
haven't
over.
seen episodes.
Every episode where we start the article and then we end up talking about like aircraft from World War II.
He warned me that would happen, and I didn't listen.
So now that you're on the stage, do you still have that same thought that we know?
We know what we're talking about.
I'm going to keep that to myself.
Okay, very
because
good.
I'd like to keep my job.
That's right. Plausible
enough.
deniability.
We don't have any control over that. Thank you, Daniel, as always, and thank you, Wes, for filling in the Joan Rivers of.
That's right. You're
Technado.
welcome.
Yeah.
Am I smiling? I can't feel my face.
You got to give us that good, like, Long Island accent to go.
I can't do it. The only thing I like from Long Island's are tea.
They don't make tea in Long Island. What the heck is he talking? Anyway.
Oh, Daniel. All right. Well, thank you all for watching as well, and we will see you next week right back here at Technado with Don Pizzette.